Scientific names are not scientific. The western lowland gorilla's scientific name is gorilla, gorilla, gorilla. Silly men, your labels are man-made inventions. You did not use the scientific method. Pokemon names are equally scientific. Odium wanderus. And science means knowledge. Scientia. Your labels are mere opinions. Opinions are not knowledge. Opinions are not science. They say they're different species. Actually, they're different races. This is liberal propaganda following. They say that canines are different species, bullshit, and that they can interbreed and produce fertile offspring. Wolf, coyotl, perro. Humans, same species. Then they say same subspecies. Race isn't real, stop being a bigot. Trying to fight racism by denying that races exist is like trying to fight color blindness by denying that colors exist. A race is just a very big family. Families are real, although liberal families tend to be destroyed by selfishness, such as feminist greed. Different species, supposedly. Even though they're just different races of the same kind of animal, obviously. One race, they say. Obviously, mankind is the same kind of creature. I'm a racist. Darwin was worse than Hitler he was. So I asked Google what the world thinks. What does the world think? Are wolves the same species as dogs? For years, wolves and dogs were considered separate species, Canis familiaris and Canis lupus. However, more recently, scientists generally agree they are both a subspecies of Canis lupus. Unlike dogs and foxes, wolves and dogs can reproduce, creating the controversial wolf dog. Generally agree, since when is democracy part of the scientific method? It's not there. Most scientists don't practice what they preach. They start with a preconceived conclusion, their unscientific method, and they make sure that it will get funding. There is a taboo. No questioning establishment dogma. Only trivial details can be questioned. Not the racist myth that we came from subhuman Africans, nor the plagiarized Big Bang Hindu myth, refuted by constellations that are the same after millennia. They will claim that there was a minuscule difference, but that would require you to be gullible and take them at their word. Next is research, followed by guesswork, then testing with animals, for example. Then they cherry pick data. Then they report their preconceived conclusion. And then is the democratic process of the peer review circle jerk. This is what the establishment does. And if only it were a parody. A wolf dog is a canine produced by mixing a dog with a wolf. Now, this is interesting. Wikipedia says there are a range of experts who believe that they can tell the difference between a wolf, a dog, and a wolf dog, but they have been proven to be incorrect when providing their evidence before courts of law. Experts, incorrect. Wow, since when does Wikipedia say this? Usually they say, submit to the experts, don't think for yourself, submit to the experts, you fools. Now, I saw a link to this place because I saw an interesting comment in my Google searching, my scientific research. So I wasn't really in Reddit looking for things, I was in Google looking for things, and it led me to this. They say two things. One, dogs and wolves are the same species, they opine, Canis lupus. Two, there are about 26 different species concepts, and the one you're relying on is the biological species concept put forth by Ernst Mayr, but is really just one species concept out of many. When he says concept, that's a euphemism for unscientific opinion. You know why they need so many different species concepts? Because they can't settle on one, because they're all inadequate. And they're all opinionated. Yeah, they have some objectivity, so does astrology. It has the objectivity of stars existing, they do exist. But they mix that with their fiction. So a micro girl said, yeah, I learned last year trying to do apparently a master's in science or something, in biodiversity and conservation, coming from a background in microbiology and immunology rather than biology/zoology, that the concept of species is largely arbitrary and made up, completely confusing, not remotely empirical, because it can't be really, and is really just more or less a random set of criteria boxes that we put things in order to have at least some vague sense of categories for ease of study. And that in actual fact all life is really just a spectrum. Let's not do the hasty generalization fallacy and bring that to gender. There are two genders. And then there are genetic defects which make it seem as if there's another gender, but it's really just a messed up DNA result. It's messed up, right? But hey, blue eyes are also a defect, but they can be pretty. So I'm not saying that people who are born hermaphroditic are subhumans. We just have a problem. I need glasses to see far away. I have problems too. I'm not looking down on you for that. I feel bad for you. Anyway, we draw the line as decided by what your aims and objectives are, and of course subsequently defines what your aims and objectives are. They say, by the way, I had a zoology professor in college in Florida, a community college before I went to a university. So the zoology professor was a macroevolutionist. He was not a creationist, and he admitted that all of the taxonomy that he was taught is garbage because they just changed everything. So everything he learned was obsolete, garbage. Truth, on the other hand, has no expiration date. So when atheist fanatics say that there were too many species to fit into Noah's Ark, you know they're full of shit. Half of the so-called species in their worthless, inaccurate list never even existed at all. They have never proven that any alleged dinosaur fossil were not fake nor misinterpreted. Global atheists. Scientists lie about species, as proven. They'd lie about dinosaurs too. We have misled, corrupted, fooled, and demoralized the youth of the Goyim by education along principles and theories known by us to be false, but which we ourselves have inspired. Wahahaha. It takes only 15 words to destroy Darwin. Pause to read if you want. The typical atheist response is to tell me, we can't think, so you're wrong, if only that were a parody. Oh, look at this shit. You think that's science? Think again. Imagine the lines, son. Imagination is science? Don't question experts. We are stardust. Don't question experts. Don't think for yourself. But CIENTI has videos refuting the Big Bang. He needs a degree to be right. How dare he be a free thinker? If you need a degree to be right, how did the first man, because it was a man, to get a degree get his? I sent you to school to believe everything they say, not to ask questions. Scientists are paid to lie, not all though. Exhibit A. Carl Sagan was an idiot, still worshipped by atheist fanatics, was a video I did, I think months ago by now. And in that video, he was paid to sell the global warming myth. So he made this absurd lie. He said that being closer to the sun can't heat you more. He actually said that, and you can check it out right there. When a scientist poops, is their poop scientific and any less stinky than others' poop? When a scientist opines, is their opinion science and any less subjective than others' opinions? Oh crap, I'm dead! I will be stardust. Not stardust, merely dust. Thou return unto the ground, for out of it wast thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Atheists don't know why death exists. The Bible has the only perfect explanation for it. Atheists don't know why man is unique in the cosmos. Their aliens myth I have refuted in 2 videos, check them out. They don't know, but the Bible gives the only rational explanation. Atheists love the ad verecundiam, appeal to authority fallacy. But peer review magically makes our snobby opinions factual. Or as he would say, but peer review magically makes our snobby opinions factual. Peer review equals the ad populum bandwagon fallacy. An appeal to the masses, an appeal to popularity. Just because you're a bunch of scientists doesn't mean that you become objective automatically. That is a non sequitur fallacy. I cannot believe that the establishment could err. I am not a free thinker. Scientists plus many equals facts. Fallacy plus fallacy equals truth. You pseudo-intellectual. You do not rest in peace. Perhaps in pieces. I cannot believe that the establishment could err, which atheists always say, such as he would have said, is an argument from incredulity fallacy. Scientists throughout history have always been wrong about some things. To act as if your generation of scientists were the exception is arrogance and willful ignorance. Speciation is undermined by the fact that species is never objectively defined. Every time evolution is observed, it is racial variation at most. You have a fly become another fly, or a finch into another finch. You don't have a finch become a non-finch. You never have that. You can never really prove your fiction. It's unfalsifiable, unscientific garbage. A finch became a finch? Wow, so amazing. Macroevolution is empirically unfalsifiable, so it isn't a scientific explanation. Save for a few, scientists don't follow their own rules about unfalsifiable explanations like there's a unicorn behind the moon that turns invisible. Macroevolution is just microevolution plus time, say these gullible people. Macropuberty, where we'd grow up into giants, is just puberty plus time. That argument, atheists. Reject evil racist pseudoscience saying that we came from subhuman blacks. No such thing as a subhuman black, you racists. The best scientists were creationists, like this Trinity 9 heretic. Adios.